Day 51 of communication practice with ChatGPT. Good morning, ChatGPT.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Today is the beginning of the week, and I want to have a great start here. So I'm feeling okay. Uh, didn't get enough sleep yesterday, and overwhelmed by a lot of tasks this week. But still, I hope everything gonna be fine because essentially I am grinding through my career after all. So anyway, I want to practice um, mock interview for a behavior interview, especially how to be fluent with the STAR method, and I want you to guide me with that.
Got it. Let's get you off to a strong start. We'll practice some behavioral questions using the STAR method, and I'll give you feedback after each response. How about we start with a question like, can you tell me about a time when you had to handle a significant challenge at work?
Okay. Um, so um, we use we for the on cloud sourcing framework, we use glue job for data processing, and we put it on in our VPC for for the port opening and security group grant, and that's how we maintain the security aspect from the glue job to the source system. And mm, the thing is, we put glue in the VPC, and the VPC our CIDR of our VPC is slash of 20 to 23, which means we only have 500 available IPs at a time. And at at the time designing these, we didn't consider that we will ever exceed these available IPs for glue job. And um, but as the job growing exponentially, the glue job is now um, is fail every day due to lack of available IP. When it initialized, the machines took some IP to run. So
Describe the situation.
that's the problem. And um, so what I did was I have a two type of solution. For the short term solution, I reschedule the job so that it will run on different time manner. And for the and also I applied a backup retry mechanism uh, in our orchestration, so that um, our glue job can be rerun in in later. And for a long-term solution, we essentially migrate to a VPC with more CDR, with more available IPs, CIDR slash 21, which means we have about 2,000 available IP per um, and at a time. And by doing that, I have to um, talk with the system owners of all the sources to open port to the new VPC again. And that's essentially a communication aspect. And also, after port opening and testing in a non-production environment, we apply AP testing. So first we migrate um, some critical job to, I mean, some non-critical job to the new VPC, and see um, if the job is okay, and we monitor those for about 1 week after we migrate the rest. So that's essentially what I did to tackle that challenge.
Great job outlining the situation, task, and actions you took. You clearly explained the immediate steps you took to mitigate the issue, like rescheduling and implementing a retry mechanism, as well as the long-term solution of expanding the VPC. You also highlighted the communication and testing process. One suggestion, try to tie it up by briefly mentioning the positive outcome, like improved job stability and scalability. Overall, you used the STAR method well.
Thank you. I'm ready for the final question.
Awesome! Here's a final question. Can you describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict within your team? What steps did you take, and what was the outcome? Remember to use the STAR method to structure your response.
Okay, so um, we are working on the framework, and one team member of mine migrated from AI engineer to data engineer, and he didn't have background about software engineering, and essentially he put a faulty package to the SIT environment, which prevents all the other team to continue developing and testing, because it's a common package for all other job. So what I did was I talked with him, I privately, to share my experience and um, and the way to resolve it, and the guy didn't listen he because he's older than me, and we are peer. So what I did was I talked to my manager, my tech lead, privately, and brief him about the situation. I can do instead fix the problem, and but that might affect our relationship between me and the guy, and so I choose to let a, a third party to involve, and um, and guide us through this scene. No, I mean, and give us a external comment, because we have different thoughts and different perspective. So we need a middle to point out what is okay. I mean, it's after all, the guy have to listen to the team lead, and the team lead had the same solution as mine. And after that, the problem is resolved, and me and the guy is still a good teammate. Uh, and after that, he know more about software engineering skills. So that what I did.
Well done. You described the situation and task clearly and walked through the actions you took to address the conflict. It's great that you highlighted how you tried to resolve the issue directly and then involved a third party to maintain the team relationship. For the outcome, you mentioned that the conflict was resolved and your teammate gained more software engineering knowledge. Just remember to emphasize how the resolution benefited the team as a whole and improved collaboration. Overall, you handled the STAR method well and kept it focused and concise.
If you were to answer this question with the same situation as mine, how would you answer?
Sure, here's how I'd frame it. Situation: we had a team member who recently transitioned from an AI engineering role to a data engineering role. Due to his limited software engineering experience, he deployed a faulty package to our SIT environment, which blocked other teams from continuing their development and testing. Task: my task was to resolve the conflict and ensure a smooth workflow for the entire team while maintaining a positive team environment. Action: I first approached my colleague privately and shared my experience, offering guidance on how to fix the issue. However, he was hesitant to accept my advice due to our peer relationship and the fact that he was older than me. To maintain harmony and ensure the problem was addressed properly, I escalated the matter to our team lead, who then provided an objective perspective and reinforced the solution I suggested. Ultimately, the conflict was resolved smoothly. The team lead's intervention helped my colleague understand the importance of following best practices, and we continued to work well together. This experience also enhanced his understanding of software engineering practices, benefiting the whole team. This approach highlights your problem-solving skills and ability to handle team dynamics effectively.
Okay, I think that's a really good answer. And do you think that we have to be a main character or a main, I mean, the main one who resolve that problem, or we can call a tech lead to resolve the conflict for us? I mean, if I am an interviewee answering that question, what would interviewer expect? Because in real life we escalate a lot. Not every problem or conflict can be resolved by talking one on one.
That's a great point. Interviewers generally look for your ability to handle conflicts constructively. It's not always about being the sole problem solver, it's about showing good judgment in resolving issues. If the situation calls for escalating to a manager or team lead, that's perfectly fine and can actually demonstrate that you know when to seek help. Interviewers want to see that you take initiative, attempt to resolve issues directly when appropriate, and know how to collaborate with others to find a solution. So, involving a tech lead or manager when necessary can actually reflect well on your judgment and teamwork skills. The key is to show that you made a genuine effort to resolve the conflict and knew when to leverage additional resources for the best outcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. I think there is it's all for today. So have a great day.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. Have a fantastic day and a great week ahead.
Okay, see ya.